Welcome, friends of Magic the Gathering. This is Ryan.
And this is Mike.
We are from manabluff.com, and here is our green set review for M14. Starting again with commons and uncommons, talking about the draft environment, then we'll switch into the rares and mythic rares afterwards.
And here we go.
The first, Advocate of the Beast.
It's not the first Advocate of the Beast. This is the first green common and or uncommon. Happens to be named Advocate of the Beast.
What is that card, Mike? Give it to me.
It is a common.
Yes.
It's a 2/3. It's 2 and a green. So already not particularly exciting for green, but I mean that extra normally
Serviceable.
Serviceable, exactly. But it's an elf shaman. But there's also this cool little chunk of text that says, at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on target beast you control. Damn!
Yes. We're going to assume we see a couple of beasts in green. Also, this is the card that I'm going to scroll up here if you're watching this to check out our Marauding Maulhorn, which is a beast in red, which we did in red. And that's the one that if you control Advocate of the Beast, you don't have to have the drawback of Marauding Maulhorn, where it doesn't have to attack each turn. And you'll see they are both common cards. So if you're going green-red, you're probably going to have these guys in your deck if you want them.
Yeah, exactly. Or you might even be able to have multiple.
You can pick them highly if you want to, I should say. You may not necessarily get them, because they're going to be good creatures in both colors.
Yeah.
But, yeah, super great card. 2/3 by itself is perfectly serviceable. It's going to do a lot of work in green-red and do a lot of bonuses in green in general with the different beasts.
Mm-hmm. What isn't going to do a lot of work in green-red is Bramble Crush.
Yeah.
Another Innistrad block carryover. It's 2 green-green. It's an uncommon. It's a sorcery. It's green removal, yeah, but it's destroy target non-creature permanent. So you might want to pick this up a little bit later if you can for sideboarding potential, but you're still not actively looking out for this one. Like if it'll hit, a cool artifact if they have one. It'll hit, it'll hit their enchantment most definitely. So that green or that white-black enchantment deck get you.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, it's some situational removal that you might need.
Yeah, you just side it in when you need it, and if you see, Chandra come down on the other side of the table, you just hope you have Bramble Crush to deal with it.
Exactly.
Much more exciting uncommon
Incredibly much more exciting.
Oh man, makes me want to play green so hard. I have first picked this creature. Briarpack Alpha, 3 and a green for a 3/3. Awesome. Yeah. It has Flash. Awesome. Holy moly. Oh wait, there's more. When Briarpack Alpha enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So it can come down as a 5/5 flash creature. It can come down, block miraculously, and you can have your 2/2 that was next to it become a 4/4 and block miraculously.
Yeah.
This versatility and this much power, can't believe it's uncommon.
Not even that. You can flash it in your attack and make your opponent's blocks kind of like it's
everything.
It's everything that you want it to be. This card is awesome. It was an all-star in the Innistrad block. It's going to be an all-star now.
And man, this in the format means you have to be careful when you're playing against a green opponent who has 4 mana up at any point.
Exactly.
It's going to be great.
Oh, I love it. I love it already. Somewhat less excited, but awesome. Yeah. The Brindle Boar, it's 2 and a green for a 2/2. So kind of, we've got a lot of these 2/2s for 3. It's a boar. It's common. Sack the boar. You gain 4 life.
And that's very good. You get that extra life gain. You can normally do a chump, gain some life if you want to. Again, having sacrifice outlets are helpful. And that incidental bonus is going to be pretty cool. Eat some removal spell, do that. And just having that on the back burner is kind of nice because your opponent knows that you have to deal with that boar at some point because you're going to gain it if you want. If you're trying to do a race, if you're trying to do something else, it's going to happen. Next creature in green, we see a lot of creatures, we are in green, is one of my favorite 2-drops. It's the Deadly Recluse, 1 and a green for a 1/2 creature, seemingly not very powerful, but this spider, common creature, has reach and death touch. So this guy is blocking for days, killing anything you want it to. Takes out flyers, takes out the ground.
There's a certain commenter on limited magic.
I'm such a fan. Yeah.
It's. I think the saying is always the Green Doomblade always gets his man.
Yeah, this is that. Yeah. If you ever listen to Limited Resources and Marshall Sutcliffe and previously John Laux, they kind of coined this as the Green Doomblade, and Deadly Recluse always gets his man. Very true.
It's actually slightly better than Green Doomblade now because it's common. You get a couple more.
There you go. Yeah. So absolutely insane.
What we've got next is a replacement for that 1-drop elf that produced mana.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our Line of War Elves are gone, replaced by the Elvish Mystic. Does the exact same thing. It's a 1/1 common elf for a green. Tap, add a green to your mana pool. What do you expect out of green? Green ramps. That's what green does. Sure, you'll play it in pretty much.
No, this is one of the few 1-drops at common that you actually want to play, because in green you want to be able to ramp to get to some of these big beefy guys that are going to happen, and its ability is relevant actually.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty sweet.
Definitely good. Just keep in mind it's just ramp. It's not fixing, because you already have to be in green to get your green.
Yep.
Next we have Enlarge, a 3 green sorcery uncommon. It is target creature gets +7/+7 and gains trample until end of turn. It must be blocked this turn. So this is an overrun variant in terms of just a major big pump spell with trample. It's only 1 creature, and it has to be blocked, but it's not every creature has to block it. But it doesn't matter. It's a huge big swing, comes out of nowhere, and you can really turn the tides around in your favor, or just seal the deal on something if you need to. And it makes any dinky creature, including previously said Elvish Mystic, into a huge game finisher.
I mean, or Deadly Recluse.
I mean, that's insane.
I mean,
Right,
it's awesome.
And both of those cards are common, by the way, and those are just the 1 and 2 drops in the green format.
And it's already pretty sweet.
So
the next card.
But hold on, are you picking Enlarge super high? Are you first picking?
I mean,
that, or?
fairly high. It's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah,
like it's not. It's obviously not as good as Overrun, but this card is. It's pretty sweet. It's actually really sweet.
I still think you pick it up anytime you see it. Pick one, pack one, or pack one, pick one.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever.
I mean, in green, it's going to get a lot. It's going to get a lot done.
Yeah.
And it turns anything nasty.
If you have too many of these, you're just weird. You're not complaining.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
impossible to have.
What you will complain of, if you have too many of, is Fog. It's a green, prevent all combat. It's an instant comment, prevent combat damage that would be dealt this turn.
Unplayable. Never play it.
Yeah, don't play it. Simple.
Always play.
But it's also a common. It's also an instant. It also costs a green. But target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn.
Yep.
In the world of combat tricks, it's a pretty sweet one. It's the one you expect from green. And, honestly, what I'm more excited about is the comeback of a certain next.
Hold on. Before we're there, let me talk about Giant Growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll get to the next one. But yeah, Giant Growth, the classic combat trick, like you said. But the reason why this is so good is because it costs 1 green.
Yeah.
It does a huge ability +3/+3, but just like the Bragpack Alpha, but because Bragpack Alpha was 4, it's so hard to play around. You're always going to have Giant Growth up if you have it in your deck. If you're playing it, so you can bluff this for days, and your opponent has to be so careful what's going on. It is a high pick. Don't be fooled by it being a combat trick. You might take a more efficient creature above it, but if you're in green, you want these Giant Growths. If you have 3, that's pretty rare, but I wouldn't complain. Yeah, you don't want more than that. If you don't want that many combat tricks.
Giant Growth is a little bit better in the core set than it is in other formats.
But it's just super powerful.
Yeah.
You were excited by what card, Mike?
Giant Spider!
Come back.
Giant Spider's back. M13 was why you get rid of Giant Spider after all those years? Well, Giant Spider's back with a vengeance. 3 and a green for a 2/4 reach. It blocks for days. It's common. You're going to get it. This spiders are awesome.
Yep, always going to be good.
I like myself some spiders.
And it helps green get to the big ramp of some of its larger, beefy dudes. Green doesn't have flyers. This is their way to deal with flyers. The reach spiders, the other exclusive giant spider. Just awesome. Super great. You're not first picking it, but you're highly picking it in the first couple of picks in the first half of the pack.
Yeah.
Gladecover Scout is a single green for 1/1, and this is just a hexproof 1/1 creature. Yeah, we saw some enchantments that kind of work well in hexproof, but it's
the only hexproof we've got so far.
Yeah, and that's probably all we're going to see. I'm not excited to run it. I don't want to be running this because if I don't have it, it's just a 1/1 do nothing.
Yeah, it might make a little splash in standard for a little while.
Maybe if there's a real aggro or something.
Well, no, at least right now for the the kind of Bant hexproof.
I don't know anything about standard. I'm sure it's cool.
Yeah, it'll be pretty sweet. What? Oh, look, we've got our first green sliver.
Cool.
Whoa, sliver! It's green. It's big.
Yeah.
It's common. It's a 6 and a green. The Ground Shaker sliver. Sounds scary. Look at the art, man. Those creatures are tiny. It's a 5/5 for 7, which is not particularly exciting, but sliver creatures you control have trample. So it's a 5/5 trampler for 7. Underwhelming, actually.
Totally underwhelming in my opinion compared to what we saw with the red slivers, which I kind of like. I'm sure if you're doing the sliver deck, you want one of these to help, pound through the last points of damage. You have a bunch of slivers that have been pumped by other slivers to go. But, it's 7 mana.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I want to see what the other slivers, there'll be another common and an uncommon. I want to see what those are in green. Because right now, I'm down for red, and green needs to step up their sliver game if I'm playing a sliver deck.
Yeah, of course.
So, we'll see what that is. There's another 7-drop here called Howl of the Night Pack, which I think is really fun. Again, I fell in love with this card in M10. However, I don't think it is a first pickable card. Very powerful. This sorcery is uncommon, and you put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield for each forest you control. So, for 7 mana, you could conceivably get, 10 power and toughness, and in multiple 2/2s, that actually can be very good. You can even get it bigger than that. But again, 7, hard to get to.
Yeah.
Green will have ramp. We already saw the elf, so it helps it along. So that's why it's a little bit more playable than if it was in another color.
That's true.
But don't be...
I'm not down on this card.
Yeah, don't be fooled by oh my gosh, I'm going to get 10 green wolves from this one spell. You're not going to have 10 forts, though. It's not going to happen.
No.
So, it's fine. It's there. If there's no other green card, you're already in green. Go for it. It's not splashable, and there's a lot to go wrong, like it hanging out in your hand for weeks.
Yep. Weeks, literally 7 mana.
Yeah.
Haha. What we've got coming up next is Hunt of the Week. Now, we've got a Prey Upon, I was going to say variant, but not quite. It's 3 and a green for a common sorcery. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
But now the hunting part.
Yeah.
Then that creature fights another target creature you don't control.
Ooh.
Green's version of removal.
Yeah, which is great removal. It's a little high-costed, as it should be for green removal.
Yeah.
But also keep in mind that +1, it's not just gets +1/+1 until end turn and then fights.
It's a counter.
You got to keep that counter. I'm totally on board with Hunt the Week. I think it is a high pick for green.
Mm-hmm.
I might even go into green for this card if I see it being passed. I don't know if I pick one going forward over a better removal spell, of course, or a better creature in green, like a more efficient creature. But if you are playing green, you cannot have too many of these because this is going to be your premium removal version.
Yeah,
that's
true. It's going to be sweet, and plus, your creatures in green are just going to tend.
They're going to be bigger anyway, and this allows your 2/2 to become more relevant and get rid of one of their irrelevant 2/2s. It just played well. This sorcery is going to be able to really swing a board state in your favor pre-combat, and then you can bash in with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, with green on turn 4, you might even have the 2/3 down. You put the counter on it. You fight something. You swing in for 4 in the next turn. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Pretty cool. Next, we have the Colonian Tusker, which is getting a whole lot of love. This is, by the way, a beast, which is going to work well with the Advocate of the Beast. But this uncommon beast has stats 3/3. What makes it particularly impressive is its casting cost. It's a forest and another forest. So for 2 forests, you get a 3/3. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's green. That's green for you.
That is first pickable. That is what you can do. There could be other cards to pick over, but let me tell you, if you see this, you're grabbing it.
Oh,
if you can
as you
fill
should
your
be.
green deck, you're golden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lay of the Land. We're starting to kind of get into the green fixin' world.
Go, yeah.
It costs a green. It's a sorcery. It's common. You get to search our library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into our hand, then shuffle our library.
Okay.
Much like green kind of does, we already started to see some of the ramp. Now we're starting to see some of the fixin'.
Yeah.
It's green doing what green's doing. If you plan on being multiple colors, we haven't seen much other fixing from other colors, which you probably generally don't see.
Yep.
But this is where you got to start.
Yep. So this is what you're doing if you want to be a brewmaster, or if you started going down an interesting path and now you're looking to smooth out some of your interesting picks that happened early on.
Exactly.
But it's a utility card that you're going to get if you want it, and if not, you're cool.
Yep.
We have our next sliver in green. This is an uncommon sliver, 1 in a green for 1/1. This sliver, the mana weft sliver, says sliver creatures you control have tap. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. This is another one of the slivers where you're going to play it in any green deck, I believe.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Because it fixes and ramps. So it's a little bit more expensive than the elf for ramp, but you're still cool with it, especially because of the fixing.
Oh, without a doubt.
There you go.
And this card is really awesome.
Yeah, it works a little bit. It makes you wonder if you're doing green, you're more excited for the 7-drop sliver in green. It's not as scary. And now we have 2 rampers and creatures that we have, and one sliver.
Granted, one's an uncommon, but nonetheless.
No, but it's around.
Yeah, of course.
And if you're doing a sliver thing, it's there. Still not stoked on it as much as I was on any of the red slivers.
No.
But still, a very good card. And, again, any green deck will want it.
Mm-hmm. Any green deck? Does any green deck want to naturalize? A 1 and a green for an instant common, destroy target artifact or enchantment? It does what it does.
It's a sideboard card.
Yeah, it is exactly a sideboard card.
So is Plummet, 1 and a green. That's another instant. That's destroy target creature with flying. Can be main deckable.
Yeah, exactly.
But hopefully not. But if you don't have a lot of spiders and you just need a way to deal with flyers, put it in your main deck. But most of the time, you're hoping that your deck is solid enough without it, so it's in the sideboard. You just bring it in against the flying decks.
Yeah. Blue-white flyers is somewhat less of a deck this time. I mean, it's still always a deck, but it's Plummet's always main deckable in a core set.
Yeah. If you need it as your 23rd, it's fine.
Exactly. Oh, look! Yet another sliver. The Predatory Sliver. It's a 1 and a green. It's common. It's a sliver. It's a 1/1, which is what you doing with that? Nope. Other slivers, slivers you control get +1/+1.
Yes.
So it's a 2/2 for 2.
Yes. So
this is the first green sliver. I'm like, yeah.
This is the first one that we're playing really, really happily. Because any green deck will want it if they need to pick it up. But probably it's going to get snatched up by the sliver decks before the green non-sliver drafter ends up picking it. Because a non-sliver green deck is probably going to pick something more than just a bear that's in the pack.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And then the sliver guy who's passing or being passive is going to grab this right, because this is a great 2-drop in the sliver deck because you get a 2/2 on turn 2, and then all your other slivers are huge.
Yep.
And if you have a couple of these out, gosh, that's just nasty sliver dump.
It is.
So this is the kind of sliver card I'm looking for. This is exactly why I like the red slivers, this type of thing, where they're playable in their respective colors, but they're so much better than sliver decks that they're going to go into the sliver decks much quicker than on color decks that aren't sliver synergistic.
Bears are good, but like you said, you probably want something else.
Our next card is Ranger's Guile. It's a single forest, instant common. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. This is a playable combat trick. It is... You don't want a bunch of these. You're fine with it in your sideboard if you don't need to be playing it. I'd rather have Giant Growths, personally. But this helps fight against removal with the hexproof to counter it.
Exactly.
And that little extra +1/+1 bonus makes it versatile. So if you're not countering a removal spell, you're adding to a combat of some kind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, plus we can kind of see the theme going of that red green. You have your cool red enchantment. You leave 1 green up to prevent them from 2 for 1, and you bring it. Root Walla is next. It's a 2/2 for 3. It's common. We've seen a lot of those. But what's cool about Root Walla is for 1 and a green. Granted, this is repeatable. Yeah. Root Walla. No, no, it's not.
Keep reading.
I should keep reading. Yeah. Root Walla gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate this ability only once each turn.
That's not repeatable, but still very good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Root Walla is back to that versatility card, where you're thinking in green it's a little overcosted for a 2/2, but the fact that you can sink mana into it and still have threat of activation on attacking, it's bread and butter 3-drop for a green deck.
Yep. Because of the full pump ability.
Yeah, I don't know how highly I'm picking this. I don't think I'm first picking it, but I'm also not passing a whole bunch if someone's showing me a bunch of Root Wallas. Because if you start on board early with some nice 2s and 3s, including Root Wallas in your 3-drop slot, you've got a really nice setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a 2 and 3 drop. By 2 and 3 drop, I mean a 4-drop. That is really sweet. The Rumbling Baloth.
Yeah.
2 green, a beast, a common beast. Flavor text is all we get, but it's a 4/4. 4/4 for 4.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
They just flat out said, you know what? We're green. We're giving you a 4/4 beast, which, by the way, has a little bit of synergy with that Advocate of the Beast. So that's kind of nice. This guy can get huge.
Oh, and guess what? Here's some 4 power on turn 4.
Yeah, so we're good. You're picking those up all day long in green.
All day, every day.
There's another common called Spore Mound. This creature costs 3 green. It's a creature fungus. It says, oh wait, first of all, it's a 3/3 creature. So that's a little overcosted in green. We just saw a 4/4 for 4, now we have a 3/3 for 5.
Yeah.
But this guy also has, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 green sapling creature token onto the battlefield. So it does spore out a bunch of different 1/1s. I'm not too sure I'm stoked on Spore Mound, only because if you're casting on turn 5, I don't want a whole bunch of other lands. And instead of playing a land and getting an instant on 1/1, I want to just play a land and have a big old dude.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I'd much prefer the Bailoff over a Spore Mound.
I certainly am not going to be
disappointed
if I'm picking this in the second half of a pack and there's no other green cards and nothing really great. You know, I'll put it in my deck. But it's one of the first 5 drops I'm looking to cut in green where there's just such strong 5 power. 5 converted mana cast creatures that are with so much power.
Yeah, I understand. What about time we got to this kind of point. The green aura.
Okay.
Trollhide.
Oh, yeah.
Green. It's like I said, an aura. It's common. You enchant creature because it's a creature aura. That's what it is. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has for 1 and a green regen this creature.
Now this is a fun enchantment, nice and powerful, but the regeneration, right? That's just where the key is.
Oh yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Being able to protect the creature once you've gotten Trollhide down is very key to getting rid of the drawback of enchantments. Yes, you have to make sure that in response to casting the Trollhide, creature isn't pulled out. But if you kind of wait, turn 5, you have this plus regeneration up, then you're in pretty good shape to have a really insane creature. And then when you untap with that ability up, dude, you gotta beat her.
Oh yeah,
down somewhere.
It's sweet.
Oh yeah, put this on an evasion, dude. Oof.
Now, just really quick, it seems like black, red, and green are the only ones that have those good kind of creature auras.
Yeah, we're thinking Mark of the Vampire, the
Shiv's Embrace, and Trollhide. How would you rank them in terms of best in the middle? And it might not even be best, medium, worst. It might be like number 1 by a thin margin, number 2 by a thin margin, and then number 3 by a thin margin.
Yeah. I think I'd go black, green, red.
Black, green, red?
Black being my favorite, then green, then red of the different.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I like the red one because it gives flying.
No, it's first strike.
It's flying.
And first strike?
No, it's +2/+2 and flying. And then fire breathing.
Oh, okay. I thought it was +3/+0 first strike. That's the.
I'm not talking about that one. No, that's an aura.
Oh, there is another aura.
I'm talking about Shiv's Embrace is +2/+2 flying and fire breathing for a 2/2 red.
Never mind.
2 red.
I agree with you. The Shiv's Embrace is by far the best. Yeah, that's number 1.
Yeah.
What? You're talking too loud.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of tend to.
Sorry for the break there. I woke up a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, totally Shiv's Embrace for sure, number 1. So then, what's the second one?
The black one.
Black one. Okay, no, I'll agree with that. Yeah, because I thought that was
Trollhide.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Next card.
Verdant Haven, completely different type of card.
Yeah.
2 and a green. We saw this most recently in the Return to Ravnica block. Enchant. It's enchantment. It's an aura. It's common. This time we're enchanting a land. When it, being Verdant Haven, enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Sweet. Some more life gain. But when this land is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of any color to his or her mana pool. Some more green.
In addition to the produces.
Thank you very much.
Key.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cool. It has its place.
Fixing and ramp. So if you are doing that kind of deck, this is what you want. Not all green decks want Verdant Havens because not everyone's ramping in or doing a multicolor deck. But if you are doing multicolors outside of 2, Verdant Haven is your key.
Exactly.
So this will allow you to do that, and you can brew it. I'm personally not a fan of that, but it's definitely fine.
Ooh.
So the next card we have is Voracious Worm. This is 1 and a green for a 2/2 worm.
Yay,
That's great. It's a bear, but it's uncommon. So what else is going on here? Voracious Worm enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. All right, so that is kind of interesting because now suddenly, after not seeing it for forever, we see a little life gain interest. Here's the deal: this is going to win a game by luck. When someone happens to gain some life, and then this guy comes down and is huge value.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen anything in the initial set to make us want to play life gain. And even though green does have that, we just saw Verdant Haven, and if you're pairing it with white, a great color combination generally.
Yeah.
Voracious Worm could be huge, but for the most part, you're picking it up, planning on it being an on-turn to 2/2 for 2.
Yeah.
And then if you happen to have a card in hand that gains life, then you might be holding on to it for something more important.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm perfectly fine playing this as a 2/2 for 2.
Oh yeah, but I'm taking Deadly Recluse over this all day, every day.
Of course.
So I'm not, first picking it. I'm not going into green because of it. I'm just happy to have it.
Yeah. Our next card in the lineup, Windstorm. This one sounds fun. It's X. Ooh, a green X spell. X and a green. It's an instant. It's uncommon. Windstorm is going to deal X damage to each creature with flying. That's cool.
So that's pretty fun. Would you rather have this or Plummet?
Or Plummet? Yeah, I don't know. This is tough.
Plummet, as a reminder, was that instant that just destroyed target creature with flying. So single creature. Windstorm now will be costing more, but it does it to each creature with flying.
I mean, maybe you main deck the Plummet. If there's a lot of flyers, you side this in, potentially in place, or in addition to Plummet, if they do have a lot of flyers, because obviously this has a higher upside. But the 2-drop flyer, the 6-drop flyer, or like that Mythic Sphinx, for example. I know bad example, but like this would cost 8 to kill that Mythic Sphinx, whereas Plummet still costs the exact same. This also kills like 4 flyers.
Yeah. I think Windstorm is only a sideboard card. We talked about Plummet possibly being main deck. If you playing green, you were weak to flying. Windstorm is just there as a sideboard. I'm not picking it highly. If you are lucky to grab it later on when there's no other good cards in the pack and the pack's depleted for your colors, then I'll get a Windstorm, and I'm only bringing it in against a heavy flyer deck.
Yep.
And that's that.
Yep.
Yeah. And the last green uncommon or common is an uncommon. It is Woodborn Behemoth. A 3 green 4/4 elemental creature. So good, although we saw a much better 4/4 at 4.
Yeah.
But that's because elemental isn't vanilla. Elemental, the Woodborn Behemoth says something else. As long as you control 8 or more lands, Woodborn Behemoth gets +4/+4 and has trample. So that's pretty fun. Now I'm still rather having the on curve 4 mana 4/4.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I'm definitely not
upside for this.
I'm definitely not sticking my nose up to the Woodborn Behemoth because you still are happy to have a 4/4 in turn 5.
Yeah.
And you're either bashing in, or if you're getting to late game, then suddenly this guy becomes just the finisher.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this card is pretty sweet. Even as the vanilla 4/4/5, I'd still play it, even if it is in green. Even though we do have a 4/4 for 4. Yeah, it's still pretty sweet, and then I really don't anticipate getting to 8 lands.
Yeah,
but if it happens, whoa.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Whoa.
Point is, the 5 for 4/4 isn't bad. We're just spoiled by the
4/4
for 4 because this is what we'd be hoping for anyway normally.
Yeah.
And then the upside is just complete gravy, and it's a significant amount of gravy.
Yeah, exactly. Something interesting about green. Nothing particularly big and scary.
Which is rare for green. You're not having these massive.
We don't have. Yeah, exactly. We don't have like
There's only one 7-drop.
Yeah, the first thing that I'm thinking of is like the Ruination Worm type thing, where it's like it costs 7, it's a 7/6 for 7. We've got the 4/4 for 4, which is awesome. We've got the 3/3 for 2, which is awesome. Like that, that kind of green. I like. That's really sweet. But nothing like super big and ramp worthy necessarily.
And that is exactly why green is probably the #1 color I want to be playing. The lack of those big ramp worthy cards. Is evidence of them pushing green in the lower creatures. The 3/3 for 2, the 4/4 for 4. If you look through all the creature names, there are almost no duds. You have the hexproof scout.
Oh yeah,
that's the only dud creature. The other one's a 1/1 ramp elf. The 2s and 3s are amazing.
Yep.
Absolutely every single creature you are happy to be playing.
Yeah.
So I think this is a really great color to be in. If it's not overdrafted, you're going to have insane creatures at every point in the curve. You can pick them up at any rarity.
Mm-hmm.
All the way 2 through 4. There's tons of them, and then you have a couple of decent 5 and 6ers in there.
Yeah.
And if you pair this with a nice open other color, you're just going to have an insane, simple, limited deck.
That's true. What you get with green in terms of how, it's just you do get that kind of power like that. Like you said, it's simple. It's super simple.
Yeah.
You've got somewhat big dudes, or bigger dudes than maybe normally you would have.
Mm-hmm.
Say at 4 or at 2, you get the 3/3.
Yeah.
And nothing super big. But then again, if the other person's able to stabilize, you ain't got much.
Yeah.
But that's green. Big beastly. I'm gonna swing.
But I mean, if you pair that with another color, then you'll be fine, and you're gonna be playing 2 colors.
Yeah, you don't want to be going mono green. There's nothing that incentivizes mono green except Howl of the Night Pack, and you don't want to play that.
Yeah. The point is, green creatures, as always, are very powerful, but in a different way they've been before. They aren't necessarily about huge, big rampiness this time, which is unique. I'm surprised they pull it out. Instead, just every creature is value. Again, the only 2 creatures that you're really not excited to be playing is Gladecover Scout, which is the 1/1 hexproof for 1. We don't really want that. Or the Ground Shaker Sliver, which aren't even necessarily pissed about playing, because it is a 5/5/7 trampler, or it's 5/5 for 7 trampler. It's just you don't need a 7-drop if you have a super efficient curve from 1 through 4. With a 5 or here or there.
Exactly.
So I'm really excited after seeing this. And plus, keep in mind, there's a removal spell in green. We have a fighter in green. So that's just, with
Hunt fighter.
I know. When you have Hunt the Weak, and it's not common, you're set up for green being more powerful than it's been in the past.
Yeah, that's true. It's
one of I think it's my favorite color right now.
Thus far?
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we still have
Let's check out the rares and the mythics and see what green has to offer there.
And our very first mythic in the rares and mythics category of green is a Planeswalker.
Yeah.
It is Zanu Garuk, Color of Beasts. Super expensive this time. It's 4 green. He starts off with 4 loyalty counters. It's pretty cool. Expensive, but pretty cool. +1 ability. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put all creature cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. You're playing green. You're going to be playing creatures. It's some pretty sweet card advantage. You're drawing, I would say, at least 2 to 3 cards out of that 5.
I think 2 would be the average in that deck, and if you're lucky, you get 3 out of there.
Yeah.
But for sure. Yeah. Good ability.
That's awesome. -3. You may put a green creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Say what?
That is just that. Yeah,
awesome.
Give me that 7 mana sliver, and I'll slam that down
on top of whatever other creatures I'm playing.
Yeah, so that's sweet.
And then if you happen to be able to survive 4 turns to be able to ultimate it, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a creature card, put that onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library.
So you every time you cast a creature spell, you get a second one.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's cool.
Pretty cool. Definitely just a limited bomb. You're never gonna see this constructed.
Oh no. But I mean, it's a Planeswalker, so whatever. Planeswalker,
as we all know, you first pick Planeswalkers.
Exactly.
Have fun. I'm probably just gonna be +1ing this up until its emblem until he dies.
Yeah.
Just basically, Garruk is gonna be a card draw machine that the opponent has to attack into while you're bashing it with your other big green creatures. Otherwise, you're just gonna overrun them. That's fun.
Unfortunately, not literally.
Not literally overrun. No,
but yes,
Garrick's Horde is his companion's rare spell. It's a 5 green creature beast. Important. Remember the beast little mini bonus. This is a 7/7 trampler for 7. Sweet. On top of that, that alone is really cool. Grade 7. If that's the kind of power you're looking for in a 7/7. Versus the Sliver, which is a 5/5 trampler.
Yep.
But also Garrick's Court has play with the top card of your library reveal. You may cast the top card of your library if it's a creature card. So you get that little bonus there. I don't think you play the card for that, but it just gives you the potential for an extra card. Honestly, I sometimes think it's a drawback showing your opponent what you have, but if you're playing a dedicated green deck, it's not a big deal.
You're obviously playing this card as a 7/7 with trample for 7.
Yeah, and at that point, you just want to get to your next creature ASAP because you've tapped out at 7. You untap, and then you just need more action if you haven't already won the game.
Exactly. What we've got here is a rare green enchantment Into the Wilds for 3 and a green. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield. Say what?
I am not interested in this card.
It's largely... in limited... You can play more lands quickly.
It's not irrelevant in the fact that it allows you to just get your lands onto the battlefield, and you're always drawing action for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a run of lands in a row, and there you go, but at least you're cycling through those quicker. The biggest issue is you're paying 4 mana, playing this down, and then it doesn't do anything until the next turn, and then even then it's just getting a little extra lands down. I just think it's not a powerful enough rare. I'd rather have a stronger card in my deck.
Yeah, no, it's true. Plus, there is the chance where maybe potentially largely could be a do nothing.
I don't think it's
at 4, I want to be playing my 4/4.
I want to play my 4/4. Yeah, my vanilla 4/4.
At 5 though, I'll play a Colonia Hydra.
Yeah,
3 green, mythic rare. It's a 0/0. What? That's weird. It dies instantly.
Hydra.
It's a Hydra though. It's got trample, a 0/0 trample. Who cares? Nope. Colonia Hydra enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it.
Okay.
Dude, who cares? You got a 4/4 with trample for 5.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. When it attacks, it being Colonia Hydra, double the amount of +1/+1 counters.
Gosh.
So the turn 6, when you attack with the Colonia Hydra, it becomes an 8/8 trample.
Gosh.
If it survives past that, it's a 16/16 trample.
The fact that it has evasion is insane. The trample throws this card over the top. First pick every time. Of course. They have to have a Doomblade or some type of premium removal to get rid of it. They have to respond to it right away, or they lose.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what you want from a bomb. And the fact that it only costs 5 goes, oh yeah, that's a mythic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then we have the rare sliver in green, the Megantic Sliver, 5 and a green for a 3/3. But actually, sliver creatures you control get +3/+3. So it's actually a 6/6 for 6. Very serviceable on its own, of course. And of course, the sliver deck, all your 2s are gigantic. Thus, Megantic Sliver.
Yeah, Megantic is the new gigantic.
Exactly. But do you first pick this rare? 6/6 for 6 by itself, and then maybe you get the sliver deck and go crazy?
This is the kind of thing where you're like, oh, damn. Yeah. This is kind of the card that if you're passing it along, people are going to be like, dude, I'm going to try for the sliver deck.
Yeah.
Plus you're in green. I think if you're going to be in the sliver deck, I think you want to start off in green because you're going to get the fixing that you need in order to make it sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I
think I go for it because I think the sliver deck's going to be fun. It's an archetype that's bred into the set, and this is the kind of card you do pick it because it just throws the sliver deck over the top.
Yeah.
And at worst case, it's a 6-drop, and if you have that as your 6-drop in green, then you're fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. A
so
6/6 for 6 is awesome.
Yeah, so I think I'll pick it and look to go sliver because it's going to be a really fun deck. But if it's not there, I'm not going to be married to that pick.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
By all means, no. Yeah. Oath of the Ancient Wood.
What is that?
Interesting. Oh, yet another enchantment. Yet another 2 and a green enchantment. But whenever Oath of the Ancient Wood or another enchantment enters the battlefield under the control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. No, I don't care about this.
At all. We're seeing more enchantments, and Trollhide was in green. So if there was a really good enchantment deck in Vernhaven, if there's a good enchantment deck, then this certainly counts. And what I will say against this is, at least it does something when it enters the battlefield. You at least get to put a +1/+1 counter right away onto a creature for 3.
For 3?
So it does that, and because of that, I might, pick it late. and run it if I have a couple extra enchantments and I'm doing that kind of thing. But overall, don't care, don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really fine with not having the enchantment deck because obviously the deck gets much better with having more enchantments, but you have to have a lot of crappy enchantments.
Yeah.
In order for it to be like super good. And at that point, I don't care. Like you said, play the enchantment deck.
Yeah, I would love for my opponent to play that.
I would gladly be. I'm much more happy having the more efficient creature deck.
Our next mythic rare is an enchantment also, Primeval Bounty, 5 and a green enchantment. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a 3/3 green beast creature token onto the battlefield. Also, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Oh, whenever a land enters the battlefield in your control, you gain 3 life. I'm going to basically call this card advantage. Now, technically, it is not. But what it means is, when you bring this down on turn 6, hopefully being in green, you have a pretty somewhat developed board, right?
Yeah.
That means every single card you play, creature, non-creature, or land, you are gaining a bonus from it. And it's like playing another card. What do you think about that? Too much? Giving it too much credit, or?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be as high impact as. I mean, yeah, at 6, sure, but to be perfectly honest, at 6, I still want to already have my 4/4 for 4 down. I want to have my my 3/3 for 2 down, and just be attacking. Maybe the set's going to be slow and kind of, I don't want to say dirtly, but slower enough where maybe we do get to 6 mana, but even getting to 6 is going to be a little bit of a thing.
Mm-hmm. You're not always guaranteed 6 mana in any game of Magic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I like it. I think it is powerful enough, and this is the kind of thing where if I'm going to do a do-nothing enchantment on a turn, this is the reward I want. And most importantly, because I'm guaranteed to be getting value from it.
Yeah.
Whatever I draw next turn, I have 6 mana already, so if I gone there, I either get to gain some life to recoup my stumble and tempo of not playing something relevant at the worst case scenario, or I'm going to pump up a huge dude with a non-creature spell. I'm going to get a bonus creature from another creature I'm playing. I think there's enough to get you back in this game from taking a turn 6 off, if you will, and investing 6 mana in this for a turn, that it's going to be worth it. And again, it's not coming down on a turn that is so important in developing your board. It's not turn 2, it's not turn 3, it's not turn 4 that you're giving up.
Yeah.
Turn 6, if not later.
Yeah, that's true.
That could be when you run out of gas, this gets you more gas. It could be a win more card. You might already be ahead and just gets you a bunch more, but that's fine. Seal the deal and get there. But more importantly is if you're behind, this can help you get back in. I like it. There's very few enchantments I would say this about, but I think this one's powerful enough, and I would grab it.
Alright.
I'm not too sure I would grab it over premium removal. I'd have to see that in play. I mean, I'm going to definitely pick it initially in the format to see if it's as cool as I think it is, but it could turn into a Doomblade you pick over Primeval Bounty.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, potentially less argument. We've got Savage Summoning. It's a green. It's an instant. Ooh. Savage Summoning can't be countered. Alright, that's cool.
Okay.
The next creature card you cast you cast this turn can be cast as though it had flash.
Okay.
As an instant.
Yeah.
This spell can't be countered.
Yeah.
Cool. But that creature enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it.
Cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying 1 more to get for an additional power and toughness for your creature, and it's an instant speed.
I was on board with
This creature has flash.
No, the spell that got was that in blue? That allowed for a sorcery to be cast as though.
Oh yeah.
This one's even better. You get a flashed creature in, plus you pump it for life. The +1/+1 counter. I'm probably picking this very highly top, first picking it in a weaker pack without anything major, and I might even just for the fact that this is going to blow someone out because no one's playing around the Savage Summoning.
Oh no.
You're leaving green up. They're thinking it's a giant growth. They figured out everything that could happen, or you attack in after you kept green up before, right?
Uh-huh.
They're like, oh great, well there's no creatures to block now, so I don't have to worry about giant growth. Oh no, Savage Summoning. Here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You play that plus,
I think this card's awesome.
Yeah, I'm totally down with it.
You know what else is awesome?
What?
Scavenging Ooze.
Let me read Scavenging Ooze. Why is it so awesome? It's 1 and a green for a 2/2. That's good. Creature Ooze. And then you pay a green to exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on Scavenging Ooze and you gain 1 life. Yep, that thing's going to get big.
Yeah.
Nice and versatile, comes down early on turn 2, as we love our bears. And then anytime something dies, you pay a green, and you just make it huge.
Yeah.
And by the way, you gain a little bit of life.
Yeah. Plus some, graveyard hate. That's cool.
Yeah.
Not that it particularly matters in limited to core set, but whoa, this is Scavenging Ooze is in standard? What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's going to be great for standard. But even more so, I'm excited to have this in limited to be able to just get super value at any point in the game.
Oh, of course.
I mean, think about it. If you draw this late, and you're on turn 7 or 8, maybe a stalemate, but a couple creatures gone down, you pay 2 to cast it, and you got a bunch of extra green to pump it right away.
Yep.
Boom.
You actually gain some life as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
What we got next is the Vastwood Hydra.
Ooh,
another X spell. So it's a rare Hydra. It's a 0/0,
Okay.
like a lot of Hydras are. It's X green.
Yes.
It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So the Vastwood Hydra, X green.
Yeah.
You pay
As much
5
as you can
green.
pay for.
It enters with 5 +1/+1 counters. It's not just that though. When Vastwood Hydra dies, you may distribute a number of +1/+1 counters equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on Vastwood Hydra among any number of creatures you control.
That's cool. It's definitely not as flashy as the Mythic Hydra.
Oh no, of course not. But kind of cool. Some value later on.
Yeah. I may not even be first picking this over a solid green card, or I'm probably looking to pick like a premium common or uncommon in another color and pass this and let someone move into green.
Yeah.
It's certainly a great green card. Let's just say it's coming down on turn 5.
Yeah.
It's a 3/3.
See, now the kind of thing is Deadly Recluse or Vastwood Hydra. Just
okay, Deadly Recluse I think is definitely a better card, hands down. The issue is I think if I take the Recluse and pass the Hydra, people go, oh great, I want to be in green.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
not a huge deal because you can cut them in this format so they may get out of it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And if they don't see a lot of green support, the Hydra's not going to make their deck being double green.
Yep, that's true.
So there's that. Yeah, so I've convinced myself. Deadly Recluse.
Yeah,
for sure.
That was pretty easy.
And most importantly, again, think about it. This coming down on turn 5. It's just a 3/3 at 5. When it does die, you get to distribute it. Certain value, and it can get huge when you get it later on in the game.
Awesome.
But it's just a solid card.
Awesome.
Our last green rare is Witch Stalker, which is kind of cool by name. It is a 1 green 3/3 wolf creature.
Awesome already.
So that's perfectly good. Great playable. And then it has hexproof. Score.
Yeah.
That is sweet. And then this is the enemy color hate card. So its ability says, whenever an opponent casts a blue or black spell during your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Witch Stalker. So it gets pumped, really just keeps blue and black off. But this is just like the red and the white enemy aligned colors. It's very playable by itself as a 3/3 for 3 with hexproof, with a little bit of upside against blue and black opponents.
Yep.
So I like it quite a bit. Not necessarily first pickable if I don't want to be green. If there's some other really premium.
I mean, to a certain extent, it's really it's a 3/3 for 3, which is sweet.
So no, definitely high pick. Don't get me wrong.
Oh
but again, Doomblade, I'll take it over.
Oh yeah, so easily.
And that's it for the green.
We started to see a couple of the larger green things. But, we might not be seeing them all too often. Being it rare.
Yeah. But at the same time, that's why I think green's so powerful now. It's so solid on its base curve, common, uncommon, and then you happen to get probably a rare that moved you into that or whatever, and then that's when you have your big beef. You only want 1 or 2 of those in your deck anyway.
Yep. I completely agree.
So let's wrap this part of green up, and we'll see you shortly in the last video for artifacts and lands, and there's an overall impression
of
M14. And again, I'm Ryan.
And this is Mike.
We're from Mana Bluff. Check us out on www.manabluff.com.
See you soon.